This is the Brave New Coin Crypto Conversation, hosted by Andy Pickering.
Hi everyone, Andy Pickering here. I'm your host and welcome to the Crypto Conversation, a Brave New Coin podcast where we talk to the people building the future in the Bitcoin, blockchain and cryptocurrency space. Good news, team. We have an exciting new sponsor here at the Crypto Conversation, and well, they are perfectly positioned for today's changing investment environment. Because with market volatility so high and the expected returns for stocks and bonds so low, I tend to agree with the analysts at JP Morgan who have declared that alternative assets are no longer optional. And that is good news for those platforms who can provide access to the top alternative asset classes like Masterworks. Yes, Masterworks.io has solidified itself as the platform for investing in contemporary art. And Masterworks is on a mission to democratize art investing, which is a 1.7 trillion asset class. How do they do this? Well, Masterworks is the first platform to make it possible to purchase shares that represent an investment in multi-million-dollar artworks from iconic artists such as Banksy, Kaws, and Basquiat, all at a price point tailored to you. And since 2017, Masterworks has sold a number of iconic artworks, with each returning over 30% net IRR to investors. Legally, I have to follow that with past performance is no guarantee of future results. Now, if you want to get in early, just go to masterworks.art/cryptoconversations to skip their waitlist. That's masterworks.art/cryptoconversations. And you can see important Regulation A disclosures at masterworks.io/CD. And now it's on with the show. My guest today is Chef Pierre. Chef Pierre is the head chef at Big Town Chef, a food-based play-to-earn metaverse NFT experience game, all that good stuff. Welcome to the show, Chef Pierre.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? Good, man. Hey, look, let's... I'm intrigued, man. Big Town Chef. This is intriguing. Have looked at the website. You've got a big UK celebrity chef involved. We'll talk about all this. We'll learn about all this, but let's do what we always do at the beginning of the show. I think you're an anonymous chef identity, so that is fine. But whatever you want to share, please do introduce yourself. Love to just hear a little bit about who you are. I can tell by your accent that you're based in the UK. That's all good. How did you get into the wonderful world of, I guess, metaverse NFT-based play-to-earn games?
Sure. Yeah. So, hey everyone. I'm Chef Pierre, head chef at Big Town Chef, like Andy said. My background is in crypto. I've actually been in crypto for 8 years professionally. Big Town Chef is my third Web3/crypto business. I run a couple of other businesses, which I won't reveal because it may actually dox myself. But the reason we got into NFTs, metaverse, play to earn scene was it was really exploding. We saw a huge uptake and interest in metaverse, as I'm sure a lot of people have seen, whether that's from your usual retail Web2 companies, whether that's from VC funds popping up with huge barrels of cash looking to pump into the space. And it's always something I've been keeping an eye on. It's a super cool, super fun industry, and it's something with the collaboration, like you mentioned earlier, a super famous UK chef called Gino D'Acampo. We feel we can bring the two worlds together and create this synergy that really connects Web2 and Web3 in a really fun way, and leverage the real value of blockchain, play to earn, tokenized economies.
Yep, that makes sense. And for anyone listening then, because most people listening, they probably haven't yet seen Big Town Chef, it won't have come across their radar, and they probably, if UK listeners will know who Gino D'Acampo is, but most other people won't. So I guess let's, I don't know where to start, but I guess maybe just kind of outline the high level vision of what Big Town Chef is, and then we can talk about Gino and how he got involved.
Sure. So the game itself is, like you said, a play to earn NFT metaverse where 10,000 Genesis chefs will embark upon a town called Big Town, and they will be battling it out to be the #1 chef in town. So we have a mixture of farming, trading, cook-off battles, using gamified staking methods, using cook-off battles similar to in terms of the PvP, the PvE, what you may see in other games like Axie Infinity. And that's in sort of the metaverse. But I think the beauty of what we have available to us is we have this real world celebrity. We have the ability to drive real value in the real world, right? We've got Gino, who's super famous, 1.8 million on Twitter, and we started this project together, right? This wasn't an influencer chef coming on board and being paid for a couple of tweets a month. It really is a deep relationship that we have with Gino. A lot of the strategic decision making is done with him in house, and what we want to create is this really cool blend as a collectible NFT project. With real world utility, with cook-off battles in real world, with really getting Gino involved on that from that side, whilst also having a really fun game at its core to play in the metaverse.
Yeah, and that in some ways that is the challenge. But I've been looking through your website and looking at all your content, and it looks it's pretty slick actually. It's all well put together. One of the I suppose the important parts of Web3 games or Web3 projects, NFT communities is and I guess gaming as well. It's it's the storytelling, it's the lore, it's the characters. So you need all those things. But particularly if you're going to launch some kind of play to earn game, then you also need the tokenomics and the game mechanics, and there's quite a fine balance between the two. It's quite hard to get all this right. So give us a sense of how long you've been working on this, the size of the team, how you think about the lore and storytelling and characters, and why why food? Why Big Town Chef? It seems to be quite a unique idea.
Yeah, I mean, to begin with, food is universal, right? There's a lot of projects, the great projects, some of the likes that we partnered with, like say Penelope Country Club, Crypto Walkers, Rumble Kong League, and I guess if we take Rumble Kong League as an example, right? 3v3 basketball NFT play to earn game, and amazing, right? If you're into basketball, if you're into sport, that really is on the money, right? You're really interested in it. But not everyone's into sport, not everyone's into basketball. But with cooking, we've got a concept that truly everyone's into, right? Everyone knows how to cook. Whether you're good or not is a different question. But with cooking and us being, in my opinion, the first mover advantage into this space of cooking NFT game, we feel we've got a huge idea on our hands that we can, with the partnership with Gino, to really take this play to earn NFT metaverse to the next level. You mentioned how big's the team. We're a team of 40 in total, and that branches across developers, front end, back end, QAs, Solidity developers, as we are we're both on both Ethereum mainnet and Polygon. So yeah, we partnered with Polygon Studios and got a grant from them to work and build on Polygon. We have a token out already, which is the BURP token, which is the underlying currency within the game, which we have already raised $6 million in private and listed on a few centralized exchanges. But like you mentioned at the beginning, it is this combination of multiple things, right? It's in my opinion, super slick art, right? Getting the 3D characters, very playful, family friendly. Also the lore which we've developed, which plays sort of underpins the whole concept and idea that we're building around Big Town Chef, and keeps the doors open for future. I mean, ideally we want to be in a position later on where it's an animation, right? We can create this TV series. Like, people really adore the characters. They really resonate with what we're creating, and I'd like to think that the artwork really shows that fun and friendly side. So multiple verticals and considerations we need to have to make the game and make it sort of a complete game. But look, we tackle internally with a ton of industry experts, whether that's tokenomics, whether that's Solidity developers, also in collaboration with an external game studio to create what we feel will be a huge game in the future.
Awesome. And let's talk just quickly about Gino then. So I know he's appeared on shows with Gordon Ramsay and has a really high profile, certainly in the UK and probably Europe. He seems like a character. Italian, I think. So, yeah, please tell us a little bit about Gino, his style of cooking, and how where the partnership began.
Yeah, sure. So, like you say, he's an Italian chef. For anyone who is based in the UK, I think I would be shocked to come across a person from the UK who has not at least heard of Gino D'Acampo. He's regularly on primetime TV on a weekly basis. He appears on many shows in the morning, a lot of stuff in the evening. Like you said, with Gordon Ramsay, who is probably, in my opinion, the most famous chef in the world, and where Gino sits just behind him as a number 2 chef. But when we first pitched this idea to Gino, he, as a lot of other companies are, and a lot of famous people we're seeing trying to get into the metaverse, get into the NFT space. And he had a number of different offers. But I guess without doxing myself too much, I do have a substantial background in Web3 and delivering products to live environments. Done that a couple of times already. I'm a mentor to a large number of Web3 projects as well. So when we pitched this idea to Gino, it was originally just called Big Town Chef, but we knew it as a concept. But what we thought would be the golden bullet is if we can work with someone like Gino, and because he has this presence online. And this was around like 6 months ago now, where we showed him this idea, and he was sold the first time we met him. He said, this is the project we want to get into. And on the call, he told his agent that, look, tell all the rest of the NFT projects that we're speaking to that we're not doing anything, we're not moving forward. Big Town Chef is the one that we're going to move ahead with. So Gino, again, for anyone who does know, he is the perfect personality. He is that person who's very funny. He's very personable. Go on YouTube and search for some of his clips. He is a real celebrity in the UK, and what we are looking to do is to extend that personality in the game to really bring it to life.
Awesome. And tell us then, Chef, what's the state of the project at the moment? So just love to get a sense of, I imagine it's still early days, and people that decide to come along and look at the project and potentially start to take part now, they'll be, it's probably good timing for them to do so. Has the game actually launched? Is it in early stages? Yeah, where are we at?
Yeah, sure. So if you go to the website, if you go to bigtownchef.com, the things that will immediately scream out at you is a big 3D town in the background, right? So that's been completely designed with all of the product in mind about what we're going to be leveraging in game. You also see 5 cute characters pop up on screen, with Gino being the centerpiece of that. So we are nearly done with all of the 3D models, much like most NFT collections. You do begin with a limited amount of NFTs. In our case, it's these 10,000 Genesis chefs. So we've done a lot of the high definition designs, asset creation, the town creation. We have finalized the tokenomics. On bigtownchef.com, at the very top, you'll see the blueprint, which really goes in depth about how we feel this token economy will work within our game. In terms of when the game will be released, we're in sort of a pre-production mode at the minute, working with a game studio just to finalize exactly what we're going to head ourselves into. And what we expect is by Q3 we'll have a beta to release to a select amount of our public, probably chef holders, to be honest, to give them a feel for what the game is going to look like, aiming for a full release by Q4.
Sounds good, Chef. Sounds good. And we'll just talk a little bit more about the actual gameplay, or the mechanics, and what users are supposed to do, and how it relates to food and chefing and all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. So everyone, as a chef, will also get a food cart, a default food cart when you begin your journey into the game. Right, everyone starts with this basic food cart, which is capable of only cooking a certain amount of meals. To be able to cook meals, you need ingredients. To get the ingredients, you either have the option of buying it from the farmer's market outright, or what we like to call the sort of gamified staking mechanic, which again acts a big thing for us is having these real life sort of analogies, metaphors, which just make complete sense to someone. So, for example, you may go to the farmer's market and buy some baby onions. You may plant them for 30 days, and as they grow to become bigger onions, you either have the option of selling them back to the market for a profit because you've sort of looked after them and you can make a bit of profit. That's the gamified staking element, or you get to use them in game. So you will need, depending on the depending on the meals which are available for you to cook in the cart, you will need a certain amount of ingredients. Now, if we talk about the PvP, the player versus player element of the game, you will be matched up against someone of a similar skill level. You will have to decide on the meal you wish to cook before going into the game. And then what will happen is that we have this sort of this RNG, or random number generator function, where it will decide the venue, the location of where you're cooking your meal. And for some meals, it will provide an advantage. For example, if you selected a pizza and you ended up in the streets of Venice, for example, it's very compatible with the type of audience you've got, right? Pizzas, Italy, and in the streets, right? You would probably get a boost of tips and revenue when you create that in game. Against if you chose a pizza and you ended up in Japan, for example, because maybe Japan the most suitable meal is sushi, just as an example, right? Now, when you come to this PvP game, if any of you have heard of there's a game called Overcooked. And for those of you who don't know what Overcooked is, you sort of have this like mini kitchen where you run around and pick the ingredients out of a box. You would chop them up, you would fry them, and then you would combine the ingredients to make the dish before serving it to the customer. And that's what our game is. So 4 minutes, you would have deciding on the dish that you've created pre-game, you would have to create the dish within your kitchen and serve it to the customers. And what you're scored on is a number of things, such as tips, such as meals served, and the amount of returns as a negative, culminating in an overall score after the 4 minutes. The person who has the high score wins, and then the person wins some rewards, whether that's tokens, whether that's other NFTs at the end of the battle.
Look, it all sounds really quite interesting, Chef. I do like the sound of it, and you put an immense amount of work into this already. It sounds like all the pieces are in place. There's I guess the challenge then becomes, because there's multiple other projects all trying to do similar things at the moment. How do you build the required community to begin to scale and get enough users to kind of kickstart that in-game economy? And how do you think about kickstarting all this stuff?
Yeah, I think the reality with NFT projects is that you do go through a journey of the type of audience that you're looking to collect. I think I'd be dishonest to say that at the beginning, as we look to head towards a mint, I think our real focus is towards sort of existing NFT minters in the space, people who have got into other NFT projects before, see the value of the future of what we're trying to build, right? Especially pre-game. But as time goes on, it becomes more about how do we bridge what we see in the real world, right, of players of more retail games like Overcooked or other skill-based games, and how do we branch them into the game? So what we see initially, in my opinion, the way to build a community is have tons of engagement through a bunch of different types of competitions. Again, I think food is super easy to think of a bunch of things. What we've realized is one of the most active continents that we have within our community is Asia. There are a ton of people who just love cooking in Asia. And one of the big promises that we've made to our community is that we feel that there's so many chefs which just don't have the spotlight, don't have the opportunity to really showcase their skills and talent. And what we want to create is this platform that enables them to really show it to the world. So we're just finalizing a deal where we're going to merge the the metaverse world of cooking competitions with real world, and it goes a bit like a bunch of online remote cooking competitions of which the community will vote on the winner. Ultimately, let's say 10 winners over a period of 10 different heats with different recipes you need to cook. And what we will do is fly them all out to a location in London where they can cook in front of the man himself, Gino, for a huge cash prize. But I think what's really important for us is to give back to these people just don't have the spotlight on them. So we're in talks with some culinary schools as well, and what we would love more than anything else is to find this person who really has this drive and ambition to become a professional chef, and give them this opportunity to enroll them in a culinary school and pay for it all for them, pay for the accommodation, and let them learn and let them grow. That would be the perfect story for us, and we're just finalizing a few things on that side.
Got it. Sounds good. I guess also there's kind of a disconnect with, while Web3 is obviously booming and seen an immense amount of growth in Web3 and NFTs over the last 18 months or so, but there's still a massive chasm, if you like, before all of this goes mainstream. It's still a bit much to expect your average family just to suddenly know how to come along and participate in a play to earn Web3 game and learn how to buy all their assets, store their assets, stake their assets. Sure, it can be a fun learning journey for people as well, but there's still I guess that knowledge gap, technology leap, whatever you want to call it. How do you see the journey or where we are now, and how much longer before everything does start to become a little bit more accessible just to I suppose the average person who wants to start to engage with Web3?
Yeah, for me, the missing piece of the puzzle is just a very user-friendly wallet. That's all we need. We need I'm not a Ethereum or DeFi maxi, right? I understand to really push this space forward, the Web3 space forward, and leverage the value that is already in Web3. You don't need to be a DeFi maxi and force people down the non-custodial wallet route of MetaMask and trust wallets and stuff like that, because you can still extract that same value while having a centralized wallet. So a big thing for us is, like you said, it's the on-ramp into the game. Anything that's super valuable, that has real value that we can extract, and they're like play to earn economies or play and earn economies where people can really make money from there. You don't need to force people down the route of these non-custodial wallets. So the way we're approaching this is, we will have our chefs, which exist on the Ethereum mainnet, because that's the most active and popular NFT blockchain for us. We will have the actual in-game use of when you're spending tokens, or you're doing stuff in-game on Polygon, where the fees are really cheap. And sitting in front of those two mechanisms, we're going to have a centralized feature where someone can, with just an email address and password, just register in the game and start playing. Because again, you don't need, in my opinion, it's not that we will block them from being able to withdraw tokens or move their NFTs around, but to really give them a feel of the game and get them into it. Why force MetaMask wallets on them? Just create a centralized platform to allow them to log in with something that's very, very familiar to them, like a username and password.
Hey, makes sense to me. All right, well, Chef Pierre, we'll go to a quick break, but before we do that, just kind of close out this part of the podcast with say whatever you want to say in terms of sending people to your website where they can learn what they need to do to start to track your progress and potentially get involved with the wonderful world of Big Town Chef.
Sure, appreciate that. So we sort of penciled in the mint at sort of May time. We have agreed a ton of pre-sale spots with a bunch of our partners like RumbleKong, 33 NFT, Penelope Country Club, Crypto Walkers, Polychain Monsters, to name but a few. If you want to try your luck at getting a pre-sale spot, not only are we giving them to these exclusive game partners that we've agreed on, but we're doing a bunch of really fun competitions. So head over to bigtownchef.com, where at the top, you will be able to find links to our Twitter, to our Discord, and keep an eye out for all these pre-sale competitions. It will be your easiest way to guarantee yourself a spot in the mint. And while you're there, have a look at our lore. Super funny, super on point, and the blueprint as well, which really goes into detail about exactly why we're building a game like this and how we feel we can support the NFT play-to-earn space in the future.
Awesome. We will go to a very quick break and then we'll be back. We'll have some fun. We'll finish off with the very famous Crypto Conversation Hot Take Round.
For crypto indices and benchmarking, Brave New Coin's powerful indexing engine can calculate high-frequency intraday and end-of-day indices for a wide range of index products. Brave New Coin's custom indices team delivers experienced consultancy, premium data, and trusted calculation. Contact BNC today to find out more.
All right, we're back and I'm with Chef Pierre. He is head chef at Big Town Chef, the food-based Web3 NFT metaverse game with celebrity chef Gino D'Acampo. Been fun talking to you today, Chef Pierre. As you may know, I like to finish each podcast with a quick round of rapid-fire crypto conversation hot takes. Are you up for it?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, just want your hot takes, your hot fire, quick snappy answers, hot take style. You know how we roll. Question one, Chef Pierre, is where would you say that you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-coin or multi-chain opportunist spectrum?
Bitcoin has first mover advantage as a store of value, but if you're looking for real world utility, you have to look elsewhere in other coins.
Yeah, I was making a joke to someone yesterday that they were talking about how a lot of their friends had kind of missed out by being just stuck in a whole lot of altcoins, whereas people that kind of switched into NFTs at the right time have done reasonably well. And then I was just thinking, I made the joke that a good strategy at the moment, or over the last year or so, would have been a barbell strategy, of course, famously made popular by what's his name, Taleb, and Nassim Taleb. And the barbell strategy, if you don't know, is basically on the one side you have a super conservative portfolio position, and the other side a super high risk, high return portfolio position. So my ideal barbell strategy, if you like, is 50% Bitcoin and 50% NFTs. What do you think?
I mean, it depends which NFTs you're investing in, right? There's some
so it does.
there's some players trying to establish themselves in the market near Solana. That as much as I am not a true DeFi maxi, I like the exposure to not only having exposure to Ethereum price increases and the upside of that, but also the NFT. So something I probably should have said at the start. I'm quite a big holder of blue chip NFT collections on Ethereum. Got a couple of Bored Apes, Mutants, Bored Ape Kennel Club, Azuki, World of Women, and I'm so bullish on Ethereum and NFTs as a whole that I love having the double upside. Right, I've got the upside of the NFTs as they go up, and that could offset the price of Ethereum going down recently. But look, if both go up at the same time, I'm quitting.
Yeah, well, that's a good point you mention, and I guess this is something that the market is still coming to grips with. It's fine to be holding blue chip NFTs, and look, you're exactly right. It's fine. It's good to have an NFT portfolio, but as anyone who has been dabbling in NFTs will relate to, I'm sure you do as well, Chef. No one knows what the blue chips are going to be, and everyone makes mistakes. And as much as I'm sure you've got some great NFTs, I'm sure you've got some shitters as well. It's just part of the game. But what happens if like Ethereum suddenly goes on a run? If Bitcoin goes to 100k, Ethereum goes to 10k, how does that reprice NFTs?
Yeah, it's very interesting because you don't often see a true reprice. For example, let's just say, for example, Ethereum is $3,000, which I think it is around now, and just to say Bored Apes are 100 ETH, right? So yeah, that would, in terms of dollar value, that'd be 300,000. If for some reason Ethereum managed to rocket to $6,000, you don't see a reprice of an 8 down to 50. It just doesn't work like that. They do operate as two completely different ecosystems a lot of the time. And what I've noticed is often they actually have the inverse effect, sort of where you see the ETH floor price of a certain collection drop, you may see that the crypto market increases, and vice versa as well. I do find it super interesting because I think what we now have in the crypto space as a whole, right? If you think about Bitcoin and say Ethereum and ERC20 tokens, I do believe we have two quite separate ecosystems, both quite closely linked, obviously through crypto, that do operate separately from each other in terms of price. So we've had a bit of a, I think in the last couple of days, Bitcoin and Ethereum has dropped somewhat, maybe 10-15%, but you don't see that same impact on NFTs. And if anything, I think I've seen the price increase of the apes and Azukis and some of the other blue chips. So I'm really keen to keep an eye on this, because what we're seeing generally in the crypto market is when Bitcoin goes down, everything goes down. When Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. But yeah, with NFTs as this separate ecosystem by itself, I do see opportunities for people to go in and out of crypto tokens to NFTs and out of NFTs back to crypto tokens.
Yeah, look, I've noticed the same thing, and I think it is, you're right in that NFTs are very much a separate market at this point from certainly from Bitcoin and even from Ethereum. But you know, people say that Bitcoin is volatile, then you look at altcoins. You think altcoins are volatile, then look at NFTs, right? And I guess the problem with NFTs, or one of the problems, is, you know, there's just such there are too many projects probably, and there's too many new projects, and there's too many I don't know, it's hard to say scammers, but bad actors. It's crypto, you know, it's just hustlers chasing fast money, let's just say. And it's very difficult for new people. I mean, it's hard enough probably for you and I to identify potential new blue chip projects, you know, but you know, you can do what people do, look at the art, look at the team, all that kind of stuff. But for new people coming in, or younger people, they just see a flashy picture, and you know, their mate at school has told them to get in the Discord, and then it's very hard for them to evaluate things in the beginning. I don't quite know where I'm going with this, but how do you think about the kind of the saturation of the market and the ability for, I guess, real builders, teams that are doing really solid stuff? How do they differentiate themselves from the fast money hustlers?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few interesting points there. One of them, if we talk about the journey, the evolution of NFTs as a whole, I think what we've seen sort of at a very high level in sort of, let's just call it V1 of NFTs, right, which is the concept that it holds value, maybe like your CryptoPunks or maybe even the Bored Apes, where very early on it was decent art, but what's really drove the value, in my opinion, is the community. It's the real world value of hosting events and stuff, and it's less about the art at the beginning. Then I think we saw sort of like a V2 of NFTs, where these artists who amazing artists that can create 3D designs or even really good 2D designs started having a taste for what could happen in the NFT space, and we started seeing some really cool 3D art. We started seeing some really cool 3D art animations as well. So like imaginary ones, as an example, where there's these walking animations, which were like one of the first, or Fluff World, where maybe the art is not as high quality, in my opinion, than imaginary ones. But we saw this sort of leveling up of artwork, and being one of the first to market to get, like, astounded, right? You see it for the first time and you think this is a project you want to get into. Then that becomes quickly saturated, like V1 did. And now what I feel we're at in V3, and of course the NFT market moves so quick, is not only do you need great art, not only do you need great animations, but you need another element, at least one other element of value that you can provide. For us, it's the play to earn game, right? It's ticking all of those boxes. And I'm sure in 6 months' time, someone's going to evolve this into a V4. But yeah, it is a constantly evolving space. I think what's happened is a lot of people are late to the party. you have these amazing artists that are just trying to create these really cool artwork, but there is, like you said, it's very saturated. Hundreds, if not thousands, of other people doing the same thing, and you do just get lost in the crowd at that point.
Yeah, and look, if you're a regular listener and you're thinking, Andy, what's going on? We were doing the very famous Crypto Conversation Hot Take round, but we've got sidetracked, and I'm fine getting sidetracked because I'm enjoying talking to you, Chef Pierre. I could, kind of nerd out on the more esoteric natures of NFT communities for quite a while when I get the chance. So let's just keep going. You talked, you mentioned Invisible Friends as an example of a project with great art, and you're exactly right. It's not enough just to have great art now. It's the space is moving so fast as kind of new forms of community, utility, tokenomics, games, all the stuff is being built. And you also mentioned Fluff World. You said maybe Fluff World didn't quite have the art to the standard of something like Invisible Friends. That's probably true, but how, in terms of Fluff World, what they're kind of building in terms of that metaverse ecosystem with all these different other collections linking together to form, and no one even knows the full picture of where these guys are going yet, but it's hard to see many other ecosystems that are kind of playing on that kind of level at the moment. Do you take inspiration for from what projects like that are doing as to what you'd hope to do at Big Town Chef?
Most definitely. I think the big thing, if we stay true to Web3, is interoperability. It's allowing other projects to be able to tap into other metaverses, right? Like this interchangeable character. And I feel, it's a huge value add. That's what we're trying to do here. The question will always be is, how can you easily integrate another collection into your own metaverse? Sandbox do it. You can create a lot of convert a lot of your characters and build them from scratch. But a lot of other metaverses, for us, for example, will have this issue. I mean, what we've done with our 5 exclusive game partners so far is we've created a one-of-one exclusive chef for each one of them. And if we wanted to bring all the Rumble Kongs into our metaverse, it becomes a question of, do we just design one generic Kong, and each time someone connects their wallet with a Kong in there, it's just this one Kong? Or do we go completely opposite end of the scale and custom design all 10,000 of these Kongs in a 3D style? Because Rumble Kongs is just a 2D flat image, a bit like your apes. And that's the interesting part for me, is how can you create a metaverse where it's not only interoperable, but the ability to connect these new collections into your metaverse is super easy, and it's something that we definitely want to do, but we haven't made a decision on the execution of that yet.
All right, let's keep going with the hot take round. Chef, what would you say is your firmest conviction, crypto opinion?
I have been in crypto for 8 years, and I feel we are at the exact same point in time that I was 8 years ago, but with NFTs. I'm having the same conversations where people thought it's a scam, maybe haven't heard of it, and over time people are becoming more used to it and seeing the real value add. So my conviction is, if you think where crypto was 8 years ago, I feel we're at the same point now with NFT. So if that's anything to go by, I think we're in for a good ride over the next few years.
Yeah, that's a great point as well, because everyone used to say Bitcoin, it's a scam, it's a Ponzi scheme, it's just used by criminals to buy drugs on the dark web. And now, it's a short decade later, really. But people were saying this about Bitcoin, well, some people still do, to be honest. But look at Bitcoin now; it's suddenly relevant on kind of the geopolitical world stage, and you've got US politicians starting to fight over themselves to essentially not so much cheerlead for Bitcoin, but very much talk about interesting new ways that it could be integrated into the US political and financial system. And I think it's just goes to show how quickly these kind of networks can be adopted. And as soon as someone sees an advantage to get in behind, well, anything can happen. And so excited to see the same thing start to happen with NFTs, which reminds reminds me, Chef, of a quote by Bill Gates, who famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years, underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. So with that in mind, 10 years, we've talked about Bitcoin's journey in 10 years. What is NFT's journey in 10 years? What does it look like 10 years time? NFTs, go. Or Web3.
So, it's. I think if we talk about play-to-earn games or sort of gaming economies, I do believe the large gaming publishers will make a move towards creating NFT-based economies within their game, making it a fairer player ecosystem where I feel their hand will be forced. I know there are tons of gaming studios that are looking to move into Web3 and teaming up with established Web3 companies. And it's sort of an adapt or die situation where people no longer want to play games where all the money trickles up to the very top, and if they release a new game that none of the items or characters carry over. I feel in 10 years time it will be the new norm where your character is interoperable, your items are interoperable, you can carry them across games, you can sell them in an open market, and yeah, if we talk about play to earn economies, that's exactly where I feel we'll be in 10 years.
Makes sense to me. All right, well, William Gibson, famous sci-fi author, of course, said that the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. So with that in mind, can you think of an example of the future being here right now, but most people just aren't really aware of it?
I believe that if we talk about NFT art, I believe that is the natural direction that art will go in there. I feel what we will have is a lot of newer, younger collectors, artists. As time goes on, as the space matures, the older collectors will sort of, die out with the more traditional art pieces, and we will have this big movement towards NFT art being the new standard. As a lot of people, I'm sure, have heard, a big issue in the real world art is being able to establish if the real artist is the person who drew the picture or who painted the artwork. With blockchain, you don't have those issues, so it completely removes that problem. So that's where I think we're heading, and what I don't think people know just yet.
I love it. All right, let's start to finish this off. Chef Pierre, time to zoom out, time to get weird for a second. What do you see as the long-term future of the human race? Do you see dystopia or utopia?
I think it'll be dystopia. As macabre as it may sound, I think Terminator and Skynet is maybe not bang on the money, but I feel we're going to end up in a space where AI reaches a point where it can teach itself, and where we're trying to revolutionize the world with tech. I imagine we're going to reach a point at some point where we're no longer top of the food chain. And I would not be surprised if in my lifetime we reached a point where some really funky stuff was happening with self-aware robots or code or computers that are able to teach themselves and combine their intelligence.
Yeah, it just feels inevitable at this point. And I just watched Ex Machina for the second time last couple of nights ago, and man, it's such a good movie. But I
love it.
Yeah, which actually is a perfect segue to the final question, which is, what is your favorite science fiction book, film, show, or universe?
I mean, that's up there. I've been anything Christopher Nolan, Inception is probably my number one. If it's not that, it's probably The Matrix. But yeah, I mean, as a lot of people in crypto will probably say, sci-fi is their favorite genre, and anything that sort of boggles the mind, that really gets you thinking, like Inception or Matrix, is definitely top of my list.
Yeah, I'm with you. Obviously, first Matrix, just a stone cold classic, and everyone loves that. Speaking of Christopher Nolan, I was just talking to someone last night about one of his early films, which I don't know if it gets the love it should, but because it's such a good film. I just saw it's on Netflix at the moment. But The Prestige. Mm-hmm. Have you seen The Prestige?
I've seen The Prestige. Yeah, that's the magician one, right?
Yeah, where, exactly.
Maybe won't ruin it for people who want to watch it, but all of his films are they keep you on the edge of your seat throughout the whole film, and it keeps you. What I love about it's not just this random sci-fi movie with tons of explosions. It really keeps you guessing throughout the whole movie, and when you get to the very end, you often have that aha moment where, if you recall your steps and retrace everything, you realize everything sort of makes sense.
That's it. Have you seen Severance? It's on Apple TV. It's a new kind of sci-fi series about looks interesting. I'm gonna watch that over Easter.
I've seen 2 episodes. The concept is super interesting.
Yes.
Where they go down an elevator and they're in their work mode. I think they're called innie and outies.
Yes,
so your innies. So I'm 2 episodes in. I need to watch the rest. But again, I love novel concepts like that. That really get you thinking, because you wouldn't be surprised if something like that could happen in our lifetimes. Which anything like that is just amazing to watch.
Love it. All right. Hey, really enjoyed talking to you today, Chef Pierre from Big Town Chef. This has been a lot of fun. Nothing else to say really, except hand the metaphorical microphone back to your good self. Please tell the people where they can go if they want to follow you on Twitter, and how they should get involved with what you guys are building at Big Town Chef.
Perfect. Thanks very much. Best place to head over to is to our website. If you go to bigtownchef.com, we'll have all our links on there for Twitter and Discord and Telegram. All the information is stored on there about the project. Following us on Twitter and joining our Discord channel will be the easiest way to get the most up-to-date information. If you like to see or follow me, you can follow me on Twitter, chefpierre_. And hopefully see you soon in the Discord.
Awesome. Thanks very much. All the best, and bye for now.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. That was Chef Pierre from Big Town Chef. Yeah. What do you reckon? Is the world ready for a Web3 play-to-earn game set in the world of Big Town? You get to be a chef. It all looks like a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm going to follow this project, see how they go. I did enjoy talking to Chef Pierre. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. That is the end of the show. Thanks for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Crypto Conversation podcast in whatever podcast app you are using. Give us a 5-star rating in Apple iTunes, all that good stuff. But yeah, that's it for today. See you real soon. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave New Coin.